It is time to talk with Cowboys owner and GM and Hall of Famer Jerry Jones. Jerry, how are we feeling on this Friday?
Well, it feels wonderful. Congratulations to every Ranger fan, and I hope that's 100% plus inclusive. But what an exciting time to be a Ranger, and if you will. And we've got big challenges ahead of us, but, boy, it feels good as we move along here. And I'm glad to see the recognition of what they've accomplished at this particular point. So hats off to them.
Well, Jerry, what a weekend for fans in the Metroplex, obviously Texas OU and the Texas Rangers in the playoffs, and you guys playing the 49ers. We've been talking about it this week, and for you, is this the biggest rivalry for you with the Dallas Cowboys, or is it a divisional team?
Well, no, I think that our division games are those types of rivalries, and we know we meet that maker twice a year, and we've got to get them done. But make no mistake about it, the 49ers is an important game to be trite because of their statue. And they're just probably playing the very best right now in the NFL. And, it's easy to put this game in perspective because we've got two more games that we've got to play against Philadelphia as we look to the season. Those are going to be real evaluators. We're going to be those are in the division. Those are games that will tell us where we are as well. All along, you're trying to notch for position because in order to get in the tournament, you've got to have the record. Now, having said all of that, this is a tremendous game for us. It's at the right time for us, exactly right time. And we're going to be fairly healthy, and it just gives us a chance to see what a team, the very best or perceived to be the best in the league, is playing like and how we stack up against it. It is a great opportunity, and plus, it really was the kind of thing that I got in the National Football League for because this is the kind of thrill that you want to have every week. This is, this is big-time stuff. This is bowl game stuff, so to speak, as we said in college.
Oh, yeah, I mean, absolutely. And Jaron Kearse was talking this week, and he was like, look, the NFL knew what they were doing when they put this on Sunday night. How meaningful is it to have this as a standalone on the center stage Sunday night football game for you?
Well, we all know where we are. Players do too. We know when those stands are full. Michael Irvin used to talk about, I can actually hear some of the individual fans as I run down the sideline on a play. Don't think it goes on. It doesn't impact how you perform. I'm a big believer in that. But to know that we're on that kind of stage and have the multi-millions of people that are going to be watching this game, arguably it'll break the record for the game, and hopefully we'll have that kind of game.
So, Jerry, on the other side is Brock Purdy, obviously the starting quarterback now for the 49ers. You had him last year in the playoffs. I'm not sure how great he is, Jerry, but he does have that edge to him where he seems to get the job done, and he makes a play when a play needs to be made. What do you see from Brock Purdy?
I see that. And, by the way, he doesn't make the bad plays. And that I see vividly, and that's so important. He does not make the bad plays generally. And you can win so many football games if you don't give it to them. Unfortunately, certainly the last game we played with the 49ers, we gave it away a little bit. And consequently, we didn't get out of there with a win. You cannot do that if we play a type team like the 49ers. So he has the kind of game that will be hard to beat.
You know, in the last two meetings, Jerry, this team, the Cowboys, have produced 12 and 17 points. And it doesn't get any easier Sunday. I mean, this is a very stout defense still. But are these the kind of games where you really need to have your quarterback stand out and be the best quarterback on the field in the game?
Well, I'll go back to the fast tape. We just need to make the good plays, and we don't need to make the bad plays. And we've got a quarterback that is tops. That's all there is to it. And if we're fortunate enough to get in there and hold our mistakes down, we're going to be in real good shape. They do have an outstanding defense. All the more reason to understand what eras do. And that doesn't mean you're not going to be. They're going to demand that you play all out. They're going to demand that you, every player is an athlete and just cuts and shoots. But by the same token, we need to cut and shoot smart. And I know that that's one of the things we're concentrating on is just be smart. But boy, again, I just can't tell you what an opportunity this is to evaluate and really launch and build from for the as we go into the rest of the 13 games we've got to play. So this is exciting times for us.
Jerry, you talked about the health of the team. You feel pretty healthy. The starting 5 offensive linemen, do you feel like they're all going to be ready to go Sunday night?
I do, but I can't assure that because we've got 3 days here before we go. But it's looking promising that we'll have them available.
Yeah, no, that's a great thing to hear. How nice was it to see Tyron in pads yesterday? Did that kind of juice up the team a little bit, juice you up a little bit?
Absolutely. He's so dynamic and really makes such a difference out there, and will make a big difference if he can go.
What have you thought, by the way, of your first-round pick from last year and Tyler Smith and his game? Because this dude has looked dominant there at the guard spot.
Well, he's not only physical, but he's smart, and that's such a big edge in that offensive line, and he's got so many things that I'm getting real trouble here, but he's got so many things that remind me of Larry Allen, and one of them is just how smart he is, and the other thing is just how strong and mobile he is. And so we've got one that, of course, his ability to sit in there and make that middle of what we want it to be, what Dak needs it to be, is I just can't give you the value that adds to the team overall. And he's been playing sound, really, really good football these first 4 games. But it's all up for him. He's got dramatic improvement ahead of him.
So, Jerry, when it comes to your scouting department, I would say the Dallas Cowboys might rank as number 1 in picking college offensive linemen and then being successful in the NFL. There's a lot of teams that pick first-round offensive linemen, and they just don't work out in the NFL. Who do you give credit to in your organization for being able to spot the offensive linemen in college, whether at a big school or small school, and they end up being successful NFL blockers?
Every time we really involve our coaches, we very much involve our coaches. I do. And when they don't have the time that the scouts spend on college linemen, but when we call on it, when it's time to draft during the spring, we call on them hard. And so I look to coaches, and then again, I think that the second round has been very, very good to us. If you look over the years to the second round, that's where we got Larry Allen. That's where we got Flozell Adams. And so I think that that and the fact that you have to keep them coming. One of the things we've had in all of the years is we do recognize that you've got to keep those big guys coming. It's a big boys game. A big boys game. The big boys, the guys that are in the trenches. That's something that you don't ever want to lose sight of. I know I do not.
Jerry, this is just a question I was thinking about this morning, and I don't know if you've ever really discussed this, but how often do you think in the NFL, like maybe a handful of games, that you can win on talent alone versus out-coaching somebody? What are your thoughts on that?
The system should even the talent out.
Okay.
And does. That's how you have on any game. You have the ability of any team to win the game. The area that probably can separate you pretty good is the ones that have outstanding quarterbacking, which is pretty obvious, or that are adjusting to their system very well to what they're trying to do at quarterback. That's being done more in the NFL today than at any time that I've been involved in 30-something years. Wow. I'm seeing people use quarterbacks and really taking their scheme or their system of moving the football, or playing offense, if you will, and adjusting it more to the talents of the quarterback, the move-around quarterback, the quarterback that can be truly a defense problem by making him a runner. Now, you need multiple quarterbacks to do that because they get hurt. Yeah. But you're seeing that more and more. And so the answer to the question is that everybody, theoretically, because the team that plays the very best the year before gets to draft the talent first. How about the team that plays the least gets to draft the talent first? And that's a big deal. It's a really big deal, and works. Now, you got times when you try to trade them out of those picks. If you hide and draft them last, you try to trade them out of them, and that's where the little bit of the action comes.
Yeah, that's the fun game right there that you guys get to have. I was kind of curious, too, about this. Then, have the Cowboys offensively been holding back anything for maybe specifically this game, or have you had a feeling they just haven't been complete yet?
Oh, I'll tell you. First of all, let's talk about before we get to the red zone. Okay. And I'll give us a big plus. I think we're doing outstanding between the 20s.
For sure.
And that's really very, 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 not to say important, but that's I'm going to say that's comforting, that we move the ball and that we've got the variety that we've got. And I like what we've done with this scheme. So all of that is very good. Now, let's talk about in the red zone. And the red zone, in my mind, can be summed up with execution. And the question is, can we execute better in the red zone? Can we have some better, can we better protection, better blocking, better routes? The whole combination of things that make it work in the end zone. The answer is an emphatic yes. It's obvious that we can improve down there. Well, that's the same guys that are working upfield, that are doing an outstanding job, that are down there working in the red zone for the most part. So we're very capable of doing it. I like what we're trying to do. We'll get better, and I have a lot of confidence that we'll get at the red zone where we want to be when we want to be. Let's do it this weekend.
Mm-hmm. So, Jerry, on Sports Talk Radio, we have fun and we say, who's going to be the X factor? Who's going to be, besides the quarterback or Micah Parsons or Bosa on the other side, who could make a big impact in this game that we're not thinking of? Do you ever have those discussions on like, hey, I really think this guy, and if you do you have a guy that you think, hey, watch out for this guy on our Dallas Cowboys team. He could have a big night Sunday night.
I dreamed about Bland before the game the other day.
Wow.
I dreamed about him for 2 nights in a row. I'm kidding, of course. But I look at our team, and let's go with the defense. But I see guys out there that have the football players and have the talent to really have big games. And, of course, I see 3 or 4 guys on that offensive line, and I don't want to leave anybody out here, but I'm on that defensive line, that any one of them, because of Micah's constant threat, any one of those guys can go out here and have a career day. So there's nobody out there at this time that, frankly, is not capable of having 2 or 3, without being frivolous about it, 2 or 3 sacks. When you look in that secondary is back there playing to get the ball. And so you could really have any one of 6 or 7 people that would stand out with a day on sacks. I mean, on interceptions. And by the way, that was that safety coming up from A&M. That was our safety coming up there, making that tackle in the backfield the other day, right up through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, I don't know when I've seen that, but really almost like putting a pressure play on right up through the middle. So we've got players all over the place back there with the skill level. They can run, they've got instincts, and they've been turned loose. The scout, the team, the coach, the defense, they've been turned loose to go get the ball. So that is really, we're going to need that. We're going to need a turnover. We're going to need that part of the game badly to get out here with a win against San Francisco. And they don't do that.
Jerry, a lot of people I've seen on national media and even in sports radio, they're picking against the Cowboys. They consider them a top 3 to 5 team in the NFC, but nobody's calling them the favorites. Do you feel like people are underestimating what this team is?
I don't. No, I don't. I've got the way you phrased the question, which is okay. And I don't feel bruised up the fact that they got us in the top 3 or 4 teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
And San Francisco deserves this. They've played well enough to be the best team, and of course they're undefeated. So the big thing is that we've got to figure out. I'm sorry, but the point is that they deserve to be number one, and we're there to make them pay a little bit, hopefully.
And before we let you go, Jerry, you're the first high school games you had down there at AT&T Stadium. I was on the sidelines covering for a local sports radio station, and I saw Dick Butkus standing there, and I was like, I have to talk to Dick Butkus. So I walked over and I asked him what he thought about the stadium, and we talked a little bit. And he was a very outspoken guy, and he shared some great football stories. How will you remember Dick Butkus?
Well, we played exactly the same time in our lives. We were about the same age. And I saw him literally. We got to shake his hand, and in August when we were at the Gold Jackets luncheon, that is exclusively for Hall of Fame Gold Jackets, and everyone, first of all, gave him a big standing ovation, and he made some great remarks, and just really. He never changed for me from the time that I knew him from afar, and then when I got to know him up close when I got in the National Football League, and then the last time that I had a chance to say something to him. But certainly he was a dynamic factor on the football field, and he was the prototype of what the pro football, the middle linebacker, could be. And he was true to form. Of what you saw is what you are. Often you say when somebody shows you what they are, that's not what they are. What he showed you was what he was. And he was that way both physically on the field, and he was really very thoughtful, very introspective off the field as well. And so we're going to miss him, but boy, what a credit to the game that he is and was when he was here on earth.
Well, Jerry, thank you very much for your time today, good sir, and we will look forward to talking with you next week after this game Sunday night.
Okay, guys, great to be with you.